cooking it up in here. Look at that. It is wonderful. Oh, this is so pretty. Ooh, looks scrumptious. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, I get asked all the time, where did you grow up? Where are you from? Well, guess what? I'm on the street where I grew up in Macon, Georgia, Beverly Place. And that's the house right behind me that I spent all of my childhood years in. So I'm so happy to be back. And you know, this street was so wonderful. You could walk to church. Vineville Methodist was right at the end of the street where you came in. And then my elementary school was only 2 blocks away. And back then we used to walk to school. Joseph Clisby, I still remember the theme song. And then my high school, Central High School, had its 50th class reunion this past weekend, and that was the year they changed the name from Miller and Lanier to Central. So lots of great memories here. So I am going to show you why you need to make this your next destination. We're going to start with breakfast at Famous Mike's. Oh my goodness, you're going to find out real quick why it's called Famous Mike's. And then we'll head over to the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. That is a destination in itself if you're coming down I-75. Then we'll have lunch at the Oatmoogie Pub, noted for their hamburgers, then a fabulous dinner at Dovetail. And then we'll end up at the 1842 Inn, where I stayed last night, where I hope you're gonna stay very soon. So I'm kinda hungry. Let's head over to Famous Mike's. I am so nostalgic right now, being in my hometown of Macon, and all night long last night, people said, well, if you're going to breakfast, you need to go to Famous Mike's. Well, I am with Famous Mike right now. I'm so happy to be here.
Glad to have you.
And you know, everybody said, you're gonna think this is the coolest place because, you know, I graduated from high school in 1971, so the 70s are really in my wheelhouse. So tell us about the theme around this restaurant and your menu.
Well, it's all Allman Brothers, of course. And it started with this one burger, the Dickie Betts burger, which is blackened with bacon, sauteed by Deas, mushrooms, blue cheese, and Swiss cheese. 2 friends of mine came from out of town not long after we opened, said, make something special. That's what I came up with. They said, well, you got to name it now. And I looked and I saw all my Dwayne Allman memorabilia and decided, well, I should give Dickie a little bit of love and respect. And it just got the ball rolling where now every band member has a burger, from Dwayne the double bacon cheeseburger, Greg the single bacon cheeseburger, Barry is a Swiss and mushroom. Dwayne also has a hot dog, which Sky Dog is his nickname, a chili cheese dog.
Oh my goodness. Well, for those of you that are Allman Brothers fans out there, I know you are definitely putting this down as a destination because it is so amazing. Well, you know, it was like, well, what are you gonna order for breakfast there? I highly recommend the French toast. Y'all, the aroma right now in front of me of this French toast, it's killing me. So tell us about this dish and how you made it.
Well, I start with fresh cracked eggs and cinnamon, fresh ground, vanilla, and confection sugar. And then I mix all that together before I add the whole milk. We take some nice, thick, high crown bread that's been set out so it's got a little dry, and we make sure it's completely soaked before we put it on the flat top, where it gets the nice crust. I think the confection sugar makes the crust better than the granulated
because the
sugar.
Sweetness, I mean, it's beautiful. And then how do you know when it?
Well, it rises. You know, I've been making it since I was a kid. It's my favorite thing to eat for breakfast.
Oh, just a few short years.
That's
right?
why, yeah. That's why I think it's one of the best things, because it is my favorite.
Well, and you know, the fact that you've always enjoyed cooking, because the other thing I heard about you is that you're noted for your biscuits.
Right, our biscuits are really good. They're cat heads, and everybody that knows the South knows what a cat head biscuit is. But what makes them special is the way we load them up. We don't skimp on any portions. If you order a ham biscuit, you're getting 3 layers of country ham. A bacon biscuit's got 4 full pieces of bacon. Sausage, a 3-ounce patty. Hand-breaded pork chop that's hand-cut by myself, marinated, boneless, and it's really hard to beat.
Oh my gosh. Well, I cannot wait to eat this, but just listening to you describe everything that's on this menu, I'm going to walk from here to the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. So y'all stick with us. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining me, I'm in my hometown of Macon, Georgia. I just had breakfast at Famous Mike's. Have y'all been there before?
It is fabulous.
Amazing. It was so good. So I am now at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and I am joined by Gwen Arrington. She is the Director of Operations, and Jim McClendon, who is the Executive Director. And they are going to introduce us to this fabulous space. This is a reason to get off of I-75 and take this trip. So Jim, give us a little background of the Hall of Fame.
Be delighted to. The Hall of Fame has been around since 1959. It started out as a kiosk at the state capitol. 1999 was when this building was dedicated. We are fortunate that this building, 43,000 square feet, is the largest state-sanctioned sports Hall of Fame in the nation. We've got well over 3,000 artifacts on display. We recognize at least 8 inductees every year to the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and a lot of household names for sports. People like Chipper Jones with the Atlanta Braves,
yes.
Hines Ward from the University of Georgia, and then also Pittsburgh Steelers. Dominic Wilkins played basketball at Georgia, and then also for the Atlanta Hawks for many seasons. So we've got some great athletes inducted here. A little over 480 athletes right now.
Wow, well, it is just a beautiful space, and I know your folks that locally that come in here for different reasons, and of course all of the outer towners that get off of I-75 and let this be a quick stop to tour the facility. But you've got other uses for this space as well.
We do, Vera. We have a lot of meetings here that can be anything from a birthday party for a small child to a class reunion to a continuing education seminar. We've got 3 separate meeting rooms, including a 205-seat theater that is fashioned just like the Atlanta Crackers Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a baseball stadium. So it's a great facility for rentals.
Well, and that's right. And if you're looking for a destination to do an out-of-town conference or something like this would be perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, Gwen, you are the expert on another artifact here that is fabulous. Tell us about it.
Yes, I'd like to introduce you to our gold-winged statue that's located here at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. It is a duplicate of the original statue that is in the Louvre in Paris, France. Wow. That's where it's housed. Our statue is of bronze and gold leaf, and it's worth $2.3 million as it sits here. But we are lucky to have it here at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. It's called the Nike of Samothrace. It stands for Goddess of Victory, which just suits our theme here at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. So we're really excited to have it here to introduce it to our tour groups that come in, to our students that come in from across the county and across the state. The Nike of Samothrace is spelled N-I-K-E, which is also known for the inspiration behind the Nike Corporation to name their corporation Nike.
Well, it is fabulous, and certainly a reason for you to let this be your next destination. So we're going to head over to the Oatmoogie Pub to have some lunch. So y'all stick with us. We've got a lot more fun things to do. Thanks, Jim and Gwen.
Thank you, Vera.
All right, we're having so much fun in downtown Macon. Had a great time at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. And now I'm at the Ocmulgee Brew Pub, and oh my goodness, it smells so good in here. And I'm joined by Mark McWilliams and Miss B. Mark is the manager. Miss B is the back of the house manager. And so we are gonna learn a little bit about this location and why we should come here for lunch. Tell us, Mark.
So we focus on making gourmet burgers and sandwiches here. We try to make as much fresh from scratch as we can. We make our own signature sauces. We cut our own hand-cut fries. We grind our own ground beef, and we make our own beer in-house.
Oh, wow. So I think the idea that you want everyone to recognize the freshness and the fact that you can really tell when you have a hamburger that is made from scratch. Well, Miss B, I got to tell you, all day long so far, everybody's saying you have got to have the Juliet burger when you go to the Oatmoogie. And so please tell us about the recipe and how you made it.
Yes, ma'am. What you have in front of you right now is our 2018 Burger Week nominee winner. Is our Juliet. Our Juliet is made of our house ground premium cut Angus beef, which is ground in store every single day.
Oh, wow.
Also, it's topped with a slice of pepper jack cheese, and also come with 2 slices of bacon. Also is with our sweet onion remoulade with a crisp piece of lettuce, and it's topped with a wonderful fried to perfection fried green tomato.
Oh my gosh, well, you said you have to griddle that hamburger.
Yes, it's griddled to perfection.
Griddled to perfection. I mean, that might be my new favorite saying ever. All right, so, well, you mentioned beer. So tell us a little bit about this brewery in here as well.
Absolutely. So we make our beer in-house. We have 4 mainstays that stay all year round, and then we have a rotating draft with the other 7. So we make it seasonally, we make it experimentally, doing one-offs, different things like that.
Well, this time of year, getting close to the holidays, what would you recommend that somebody try?
So we're actually brewing our winter ale right now, the Slush Storm.
The Slush Storm?
Oh yeah.
That sounds fabulous.
It is delicious. It has fresh cinnamon, honey, and ginger in it.
Oh gosh, so that's amazing. Well, what are some of the other things, Miss B, that somebody might want to try when they come into the restaurant?
Of course, we have the Oatmoogie burger.
Okay.
It has crisp lettuce, ketchup, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. Also, we have our 2019 Burger Week winner, our Eat a Peach.
Eat a Peach?
Yes.
Yes.
It comes with our basil aioli, and it's topped with our very own peach pico, and it also has pepper jack and bacon.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am so hungry. I cannot wait to dive into this hamburger. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be going to visit Dovetail, where we're going to have dinner tonight. So thank you so much, Miss B and Mark, and we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Vera's Corner is sponsored by TaxSlayer. It's your refund, go get it. Sometimes I come across tips for the kitchen that give me a real aha moment. Today I'm going to share some of my recent favorites to make your time in the kitchen more enjoyable. If you have leftover onions, celery, or carrots from a recipe or crudité tray, dice the remainder and freeze in separate freezer bags. Label each with the date, contents, and amount. Then they're ready to go the next time you need diced veggies for a soup or sauce. For a quick way to pit cherries for baking, place a number 12 pastry tip on a plate and press the cherry stem side down onto the narrow end of the tip. The pit will rest in the hole of the pastry tip. When opening a salt canister for the first time, use the edge of a knife to lift the metal edge up slightly, giving you easier access every time you use the container. Finally, an easy way to travel with cheesecake. Place the spring-form pan around the cheesecake on its serving platter with the pan in the open position. Then cover the top with foil or plastic wrap. This keeps the top from being ruined by sticking to the cover. Use these tips to make your culinary life a little bit easier. Welcome back, everybody, and I have had the best time today. I've just had beautiful weather, a fantastic breakfast, a scrumptious lunch. I've actually, for sentimental reasons, walked around Rose Hill Cemetery, which is just the most beautiful property, some of the most historic monuments and statues, and my mother's buried there. And Brad, everybody, this is Brad Stevens, the executive chef at Dovetail. I think you said your
my grandparents have been laid to rest in that eerie yet beautiful place.
Well, and you said you take walks in there.
I do. This time of year, it's beautiful. Leaves are starting to fall.
Oh, it is, and you know you can see it, you know, so clearly from so many different places in Macon. So you've got some brand new renovation in your restaurant,
yes,
kind of a rustic Southern elegance. And
So
when
we're
we've
going
been
for it.
talking back and forth, and you said there's one dish that I really want to make for you. So tell us about it. It looks scrumptious.
Well, Vera, here it is. One of our guests' favorites. We change the menu quite often here. This is a staple. Very simple. We take our risotto, fold in whipped cream and our house-made pimento cheese. We'll top that with some beautifully seared U10 scallops. Drizzle a little bit of sherry gastrique over the top. Finish it with house-made bacon and chives.
Oh my goodness. Well, you said that you like to, you make your risotto ahead and you reconstitute it by doing that procedure. So that's just a great tip for someone at home.
For dinner parties.
Yes, so you're not in the kitchen at the last minute. And then another thing that I noticed when you were preparing this is that you dried those scallops off.
Yes, ma'am. You want to get a good sear and to keep the moisture from sapping the plate. Dry them off, pat them dry with a paper towel. We have a little bit more sophisticated method, but I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh, of course not. That's
it works like a
secret.
charm. If you want to get that good caramelization on top, go for it.
Well, and Brad, you're so passionate about what you do here, and as you said, everything y'all are housemaking. It's not just particular things. That's what you're noted for. That's what Maconites expect when they come here to dinner. But for our audience, that's all over the place. What would you expect for them to walk away from an experience here as a notable to this restaurant?
Our restaurant strives to be a scratch kitchen and cocktail bar first and foremost. We want people to be comfortable, and that includes the way we serve them, what we serve them, and how it's presented. So we want to be elegant, but we want to be approachable.
Oh, I love that concept. You mentioned cocktails. Are there some particular cocktails that you would recommend?
Absolutely. Okay. It's called Chili Weather. We blend Buffalo Trace bourbon, Pedro Jimenez sherry, Prohibition aromatic bitters, chili bitters, and finish it with smoked cinnamon that we smoke in-house.
Oh, wow, Brad, that's almost making me dizzy, but I bet it's a real favorite. So we've had a wonderful time. Thank you for your hospitality. We're going to head over to 1842 after I enjoyed this delicious meal, for where I'll be staying tonight and a little bit more about the history of Macon. So y'all stick with us. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, and I have just enjoyed the most fabulous dinner tonight, and I am ready to be in for the evening, no pun intended, and I'm with Charles Olson. He's the owner here at 1842, and I just cannot tell you what a lovely night I had last night. Was greeted this morning with the most beautiful breakfast by Gloria. So tell our viewers a little bit about the inn and your family history here.
Well, thank you so much, Vera, and thank you for staying with us here at the 1842 Inn. Of course, the house was originally built in 1842. It was been added on to in two different iterations, once in 1900, then again in 1983 as we turned this building into a bed and breakfast. We have 19 rooms here on the property, and our family is the third owners of the inn as an inn.
Oh, wow.
And we've owned it since 1999, so we've been the longest tenured family to own it. We are a AAA 4-diamond rated property, and we extend Southern hospitality to everybody who comes here to the inn, and just try to give everybody a true taste of what Macon, Georgia has to offer.
Well, I can certainly tell you that that's exactly the way that I have felt, and needless to say, growing up here, I never knew anything about this, but for those Maconites that are watching, and for anyone else that's within the sound of my voice, you also do special events here as well.
We do. We have everything from bridal luncheons to corporate meetings to full-on weddings and wedding receptions. So we try to limit it to about 125 people for an event, but for 125 and smaller, we are the perfect venue to truly encapsulate what Macon offers.
Well, Charles is not going to brag on himself, but I can brag about him. When I met him the very first time, he was so knowledgeable about the history of 1842. And this book in particular, The War Outside My Window. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Yeah, so the original owners of what is now the 1842 Inn John Gresham. He built the house, and his son, Leroy Wayne Gresham, had spinal tuberculosis. And so he was pretty much limited to staying here at the house. And of course, that was during the Civil War. And so the war outside my window is Leroy's diary that was put into a readable form by Janet Elizabeth Croon. And we have copies of it for sale here at the inn. And if you book online with our website, we actually offer the opportunity to just go ahead and purchase the book, and we'll leave it on the bed.
I certainly suggest that you look at that, but I want to take a minute now to let everybody know that everything I've experienced today is going to be in a fabulous giveaway that we're going to be doing. So I want you to go to @VisitMacon or any of our social media platforms to register for this giveaway. I mean, where I am right now, at the end, all of the restaurants, lots of activities in Macon. There's so many things to do. You know, this is where soul lives, and I think you will absolutely find that out if you make a trip here. And even if you don't register, I hope that you will also think about Macon as your next destination. All right, Charles, so I brought some lemon layer cake. I thought we would end the night with that. And I want to thank you so much for your hospitality today. I've just had a great time.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you.
Well, thanks. And remember, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. I hope that you will come back again next week, and thanks again.